Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Well, we have literally just got back from Essen because we did a little detour on the way back and popped to see some friends in Porthmadog in North Wales. And then we had a rather long journey back home to South Wales. And of course, with us, we had our suitcases filled with all our wonderful things that we bought at Essen in Germany. Wow, what an event that was, but that's for another video. Out of those games, there are some games that were kindly donated to us, and I'll let you know when we get to them. But it was basically just some small family games and one other game. I'll only be taking a very quick look at the games just to show you what we picked up at Essen, but if there's any games that pique your interest and you would like to know a little bit more about them, then please do let me know in the comments below. Whether you just like to know a little bit more about the game, or you were interested in seeing what the components are inside the game, or indeed if you would be interested in learning how to play the games. So if there's anything that jumps out and you fancy to look at, please do get in touch with us and we'll have a look at making a little video about the game for you. Well, as we travel by train, obviously we're quite limited with the space that we're able to fit our games in, but utilising some ingenuity and jigsaw puzzle packaging and purchasing mainly very small games, we have managed to get what I think is a rather eclectic and rather impressive haul of board games. I don't think I've ever been as excited about a haul of games as these ones, because they're all so interesting. And there is one thing I really appreciate these days, and that is a small box game. It may be because we're running out of room in the house, but in actual fact, when you see the game haul, you may think we already have run out of room in the house, and I do believe that is the case. We are now at crisis point. But enough of that, let's take a look at what games we picked up at Essen 2024. Well, the first game that comes to hand is Roaring Twenties. This is a small box game from Essen Spiel and Deep Print Games, and the artwork is rather interesting and captivating. It's all about the Roaring Twenties with the dinosaurs, because of course dinosaurs were roaring in the 20s and they were all keen to get to a party. So you were trying to attract the trendiest dinos to your glamorous party, and you'll be enticing them with their favourite snacks or with gems. No idea what the game is like, but it looks really interesting and is a 20 to 30 minute game and plays with 3 to 5 players, and the artwork looks fantastic. So that's Roaring Twenties. And next up we have a game by Wolfgang Kramer, and that is Vampire Queen from Popcorn Games. This is a game for 3 to 12 players and will last you around 30 minutes. And in this you are playing good vampires that are all they're doing is trying to crawl back safely into their crypt. But those cruel vampire hunters are out there and trying to stop them getting to safety. Those pesky vampire slayers, eh? This looks like a fun small card game with some lovely art as well, which I think I'm going to be saying a lot lately. So that's Vampire Queen. Next up we have Bottle Imp. This looks rather shiny and rather pretty again, and this is a game for 2 to 6 players and will last you around 20 minutes. And this looks like a small trick-taking card game where you're trying to score as many tricks as you can, but you don't want to be left with the Bottle Imp. And this is from Matago Games. I'm not going to say things like it looks rather interesting or I can't wait to get it to the table. And I'm probably not going to say much more about the artwork because a lot of these games feature fantastic artwork. But there you have it, Bottle Imp. Next up we have rubber, paper, scissors. Rather strange looking little game there. This is for 2 players and will run for around 10 minutes. In the game you're trying to get in your opponent's head and win duels, collecting sets of valuable equipment and controlling the shop window by sending out your squad members. Rubber, paper, scissors. Okay, next we have, again by Popcorn Games and Platy as well, a little game by Rainer Knizia, and that is Circus Flocati. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Another card game for 2 to 5 players, which will run for around 20 minutes. And I believe this is a reprint of an earlier game that had strange looking humanoid fleas as the artwork, I believe. So this looks like a nice set collection game. There you go. Oh, one thing we always try to pick up is the similar board games that are done especially just for Essen. And this, of course, is the Similar Board Games 24. The Spiel Essen, find out the secret game. And you usually pick this up as a gift when you buy certain games. So here we go, we've got a couple of these now over the years. And onto a bigger box, and this is Quiet House from Mando Games. Now, Mando Games, we have been enjoying a lot of their games lately, and Quiet House really did stand out from the crowd. It's really interesting because it looks as if you play with the actual game box as the Quiet House. And it looks like you are 5 ghosts that have found refuge in this quiet house, and you're trying to rearrange 5 statues scattered throughout the grand hall. This looks really, really interesting, I must admit. This is for 2 to 4 players, will run for around 20 minutes, and looks very interesting indeed. That's Quiet House. Next, another larger game, and this is a game from Matago again, and this is Tom Lehman's Chu Han, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. A game of dynastic intrigue. And this is a 2-player game that runs for 25 minutes. You'll be fighting historic campaigns with infinite replayability, and there is a travel version of the game included as well. So there you go. And next, a game I have been after for quite some time, and this is The Hunt, a 2-player game which runs for 20 to 45 minutes, and this is by Salt and Pepper Games. And Salt and Pepper Games have rapidly become one of my favourite game publishers of all time. They really are producing some absolutely fantastic games, and I'm sure The Hunt is going to be another one that I'm going to be thrilled to have and to play. This is a tense and exciting naval duel where you'll have to use your wits to defeat your opponent. So there you go, The Hunt. And onto a rather unusual looking game. This is Winston 1984. This was very, very, very intriguing. It is actually a solo roll and write game which will last around 20 minutes, and it's set in George Orwell's 1984. So we had to pick this one up. I am very intrigued to take a look at this one. That's Winston 1984. And now on to a topic very close to my heart, where at least the second word is very close to my heart, and that is Fantasy Pub from Lupin Games. Yes, and it's a game for 2 to 4 players, will take around 45 minutes, and Lisa is quite taken by it. She's read the rules and said that it's quite a theme that we would like. It's all about drinking beer, but you have to leave the pub with your dignity. So I imagine you can't get too drunk before you're thrown out by the barkeeper. So lots of interesting looking components in this game. This one, very interested indeed, from Lupin Games. Back to some small box games. The next one here is by WWBG Games. This game is called Lone Wolves, and certainly grabbed our attention there. And this is a two-player trick-taking game that will last for around 15 minutes. Trick-taking games really are quite popular at the moment, and we do enjoy them, so Lone Wolves. Next, we have a game called To Be Continued. A game about comics about gamers. Very intriguing. 2 to 5 players, 15 to 45 minutes. Quite a divergence there, but must obviously, due to the player count, 2 players probably 15 minutes, but the more players you have, up to 45. And it looks like you're competing to compile a chapter of a comic. Very interesting. That's To Be Continued. Next, we managed to pick up Dream World, which is an unconscious mind card game. Now, I've backed Unconscious Mind and thought that I'd gone for the all-in or everything included edition, but I didn't realise that I'd forgotten to add in this game. So we were thrilled to pick this up at Essen. It's a small card game. Let's have a look here. It's 1 to 4 players and will run for about 20 to 30 minutes. So really pleased I've got this. Dream World with the wonderful artwork, of course, from Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutray, and designed by Johnny Pack, a rather fine gentleman that we met at Essen. So super thrilled to get this, especially as when we got home from Essen, what was waiting for us? Yes, a rather large box containing Unconscious Mind. So there you go, Dream World, an Unconscious Mind card game. And now on to Sail or Die. This is from Loosey Goosey. I love that name so much. Loosey Goosey Games. Fantastic. It's for 2 to 5 players and will run around 20 minutes, and it seems to be some sort of card shedding game by the looks of it, and it's got a rather nice little meeple shark in there. All looks like quite fun. That's Sail or Die, where they appear to be biting what I can only describe as a bum. Possibly not. Could just be the artwork, I don't know. There you are, Sail or Die. And onto a game that Lisa was super excited to get, again from Loosey Goosey. And I tell you what, I've never seen her so excited about a game. And this is Surfosaurus Max for 2 to 6 players, and this one runs for 20 minutes as well. No idea what this one is about. Obviously it's a card game and it has a wooden meeple dinosaur, so can't go wrong with that, can you? I wonder if he comes with a surfboard. Well, we'll find out. That's Surfosaurus Max from Loosey Goosey Games. And now on to quite a heavy game. It's a small box, but it's a square small box game. And that is Tavern Tales, Legends of Dungeon Drop. And it's a 20-minute game for 2 to 5 players. And it's Set Collection meets Bluffing from Phase Shift Games. Looking forward to giving that one a go because it's based in a tavern. Yes, can't beat games in a tavern, I must admit. That's where we like to play all our small box board games, actually. Okay, not a tavern as such, but a local pub. And next we have Dirt and Glory. Oh, my goodness. And this is by Petri Wojciech. What a wonderful gentleman. What a very nice gentleman. He even signed the inside of the box for me. Wow. And this is from Pink Troubadour. And it's for 2 to 5 players and will run for 30 minutes. And it looks really good, with some wonderful graphic design as well. Now, very interestingly, Pink Troubadour, they were there with their other game, Galileo Galilei, and that game looked rather fantastic too, but it was in a bigger box and we just wouldn't have been able to have brought it back. But that was a game that we were definitely very interested in, and the designer of that particular game, if I just have a little look here, also had 2 other games at Essen that were all in high demand, and that is SETI, The Search for Extraterrestrial Life, and Tea Garden. So that was very interesting to see a game designer with 3 games that were very much the hotness at Essen. Dirt and Glory, this is one I am super interested in. And next up, we have a game that was gifted to us by Neowolf Games, and that game is Viking Raiders. And we spent quite a little bit of time chatting to the rather wonderful Morton, who told us all about the game. And as I said, very kindly, like I said, gave us a copy of this game to take a look at on the channel. So keep an eye out soon for a how to play and everything about Viking Raiders. As the box said, who doesn't want to be a Viking for 45 minutes? And it's a game for 2 to 5 wannabe Vikings. So there you go. A card game by Morton Bill Cliff. And it's Viking Raiders. And next from Nuts Publishing, and this is the second in a series of games they are doing. And this one is Port Arthur, a 2-player game that will run for around 40 minutes. I believe the first game was called 300. I'll put a caption on the screen if I got that wrong. And Port Arthur is a strategy game for 2 players with a very interesting looking game board there. Quite like the look of that. And Port Arthur is a very interesting strategic 2-player game all around a war that took place on land and at sea at the start of the 20th century, at the Battle of Tsushima in May 1905. I have the first one of these games, the 300 game, so this one was an essential one to pick up. That's Port Arthur. Next we have a game by Danny Garcia, and that's Nico Syndicate from Combo Games. Again, a small box game, 1 to 4 players, will run around 30 minutes. And it says it's an innovative tableau building mechanic. Oh, a thinky filler, where the cards have both the actions and the goals to achieve. Got some great interesting artwork there. That is Nico Syndicate. Next we have a game from Iggyari Games, and that is La Habana. And this really did attract us, I must admit. There's something about the artwork of this game which is really, we found really captivating. So we definitely had to pick this game up. It seems to be a card building game where you're trying to build prestige. It's for 2 to 4 players, has a playtime of 45 minutes, and has some fantastic artwork in it. That's La Habana. And now we have a game by Wolfgang Kramer called The Dance of the Ibexes? Ibexes? I don't know. They like mountain goats. No idea how you pronounce that word. Ibexes. Ibexes? Ibexes? I don't know. It's from Popcorn Games though, and it's for 2 to 8 players with a playtime of 45 minutes. And all I know about the game is it looks rather cute, and all the actual game box and game lid folds out, and you use everything as part of the game. So that looks like a whole heap of fun. And then we have another Rainer Knizia game. Ingsoc, is it? Ingsoc 1984. There we go. Absolutely no idea what the game is about because it's not actually in English, but I believe we have the English rules for this. If we haven't, then I'm going to be looking them up. Yep. I have to look the rules up for this one. I must say I have no idea what the game is about. It is, or it does seem to be, a roll and write game from just looking at the box. That's Ingsoc, if I got that right, 1984. And now let's have a look at a few expansions that we picked up. The first of which are the deluxe Ticket to Ride train sets. And when Lisa saw these, she just had to have them. And they do look rather fantastic. There's a set, I believe, of 5 of these. 5. And I think, as always with these type of things from For Ticket to Ride, it's always best to pick them up when you see them, because otherwise they tend to go out of print and the prices then are astronomical on eBay. So there you go, Ticket to Ride deluxe train sets. Next we have one I was very excited for, and that's Sky Team Turbulence, an expansion for the wonderful game Sky Team. An absolutely superb two-player game that I've covered on the channel, and this looks very, very good. Two-player co-op game, immersive, high drama, and we have 20 scenarios including new rules and new modules. So my goodness, we absolutely had to pick this up. That's Sky Team Turbulence expansion. Another expansion that we had to get, and again another game that I've covered on the channel, and that is for Far Away. And this expansion is People from Below. Tiny little game there. Tiny little expansion game. Very interested in taking a look at this, and very much like the Sky Team Turbulence expansion, I will be looking at these on the channel in the future, so keep an eye out for videos on these. And another expansion for another brilliant game. This is for the Veil of Eternity game, and this is called Artifacts. And we are huge fans of the Veil of Eternity game. It is really, really cracking. So again, we were super excited to pick this up. It's from Mando Games, who cannot seem to do anything wrong in my book. There. So, and I'll probably be taking a look at this one in the future as well. And we were lucky enough to pick up a Veil of Eternity little promo card there. Meeps the mascot. So that's rather cool, isn't it? And then lastly, for the expansions, we simply had to pick this one up. It's La Famiglia. Is the expansion for the 4-player only game, and we bought it because we just loved the artwork. It looked so fantastic, and we didn't realize until I got it home that it was a 4-player only game, and we tend to play a lot of games 2-player. So when we saw that there was a 2 to 3-player expansion coming out for the game, well, instant buy. So looking forward to now being actually able to play the game. There you go. And then something that was very intriguing. This is the Dungeon. And this is a 365-day dungeon adventure game. And it's basically, let me just pop it out of the box. It's basically like a desk calendar, and every day you have to perform some sort of dungeon monster defeating type thing, I believe, because the game comes with dice and a little fighter marker and a rule book. So quite intrigued by this one. That's the Dungeon, 365 adventures. And now let's take a quick look at some lightweight family games that were gifted to us by the publishers. And the first of them is Grab the Mic, the karaoke party game for people who can't sing. Do you know anyone in your life who cannot sing or is tone deaf? Well, as it says, warm up those vocal cords and belt out some tunes and unleash your inner superstar, because, well, it comes with a foam microphone. Look. So there you go. It's a lightweight, fun family game for 2 to 10 players that will run for around 20 minutes. And then next we have Think Fast or Get Wet categories. Now, this game actually comes with a spray bottle in it. I kid you not. There. Lucky Egg Games, and as you can no doubt tell, it's going to be a quiz game for 2 to 8 players. There's 200 cards included, 15 minutes per game, and it looks like if you get the answer wrong, well, you're going to get sprayed with water. So, get wet categories. The next of the family games are Read the Room adult party game. Oh, controversial opinions exposed. And it's a game for 2 to 8 players and will run for 30 minutes. So in this game, you'll be reading out controversial statements. Will you agree or disagree and reveal your opponents? And then, it seems to say, argue with each other. Well, again, no idea what this game is like because I've not played it, but that is Read the Room. Next, we got a game that we did actually play when we were in North Wales on our way back home from Essen, and this is Trippy Trivia, the fast-paced family game designed to trip you up. And I must admit, we did have some fun playing this. 2 to 6 players, 20 minutes, and includes 6 mushroom grabbers. Here is said mushroom grabber, and what you'll be doing is you'll be reading out a question such as Niagara Falls is in between which 2 countries, and the answers will all be in a pile, all on the table there, all on discs, and what you'll be trying to do is suck a grab like that and pick up the correct answers. After a few drinks, this was spectacular, hilarious fun. Unfortunately for me, I would have to give a health warning, and that is, do not attach these to your forehead, because I did and had lots of fun and giggles, and when I woke up in the morning, I had a red circular patch on my forehead that was there and is still there today. So I'm hoping it will clear up soon. Otherwise, I'm wearing this hat permanently. There you go. Trippy Trivia, just good, simple fun. Like I say, it's a fast-paced family game designed to trip you up. It's really, it's just good fun. I like that one. Can't stop smiling now. And last of the family games that were kindly gifted to us from the publishers, this one is Sorry What? And this is the hilarious headphone wearing, terrible lip reading adult game. So, headphone wearing, you may think. What's all that about? Well, it comes with an actual set of headphones for you to wear. Deck of cards and everything, and cable to charge the headphones. Goodness gracious me. So I'm going to be quite intrigued to take a look at this one. Again, I think this is a game that we're going to play with our friends in their little bar that they have at the end of their house. And it's a game for 2+ players. Obviously, it's going to be an adult party lip reading thing there. So you've got sound cancelling headphones on, and you're trying to lip read your screaming teammates and get ready for some hilarious guesses. There you go. Sorry, what? And back on to the small box games. All the rest of the games, all the games that we have bought. The only games that were gifted to us were those 5-party games and the Viking game that we covered earlier. Now, this one is a cracking game, Milkuro. And it's a very small card game, as you can see, and it's for 2 to 4 players, will last for 20 to 30 minutes, and it's a very, very clever trick-taking game where you are trying to balance the number of tricks you are winning. And it's a game where the cards have a black edge and a white edge, and are more black or white than the others. And what you are simply doing is playing a card for its value and simply winning it or losing it as a trick. And you're trying to balance the black and white of your coffee. This is a cracking little game. We played this quite a few times at 2-player. Looking forward to playing it with 2 to 4 players. I would highly recommend picking up a copy of this. That's Milkuro. And next we have from BlackRock Games and Lumberjacks. This is Solstice. Solstice, and I believe it's a game for 2 players that will last you around 15 minutes. It looks very cute and seems to have someone climbing up a mountain, and there seems to be a bear there, but it looks like a fun little card game. That's Solstice. And then this is a game that I simply had to pick up just from the size of the box there and the artwork on the box. And this game is called Strange World Above the Clouds, and it's a game for 1 to 4 players, which will run for around 15 minutes, and it's what they call a multi-solo game. No idea what it's about. This one is by Grr Games, so I just had to get it. Very intrigued indeed. That's Strange World Above the Clouds. Now we have some foreign language games, so I'm not going to try and pronounce these and do a terrible job. This is a small card game, Maharaja, 2 to 4 players for 30 minutes. We love our small box games because we just pop them in a little rucksack, pop off, go for a walk, pop into the pub and sit down and have a lovely afternoon, a few beers and play some wonderful card games. And next we have Serengeti from Essen Spiel. Again, a small box card game, 3 to 5 players, 30 minutes. This one does have the English rules included, so there you go. On to a game that delighted Lisa. This is Mini Dinosaur from designer Zonger. It's 2 to 5 players and will run for 15 minutes. And it is actually quite delightful. One that I'll be covering on the channel because Lisa loves it so much. Very cute, tiny little game, Mini Dinosaur. Actually, quite good fun. Then we are on to Robo Trick. This is a Japanese game. It's for 3 players and will last 30 minutes. So no idea on how the game plays, but it certainly looks very, very interesting. Again, one that, depending on the footprint of the game, one that we'll be taking to the pub to give a go. Next we have Xylotar from Bezier Games, and become the world's greatest Xylotar player. So there you go. Trick-taking card game, 3 to 5 players, special rules for 2 players, and will run for about 30 minutes. And what's not to like about what looks like a polar bear playing a Xylotar? There you go. Fantastic. That's going in the rucksack. And then we have another game from Bezier Games, and this is Sears Catalogue. And this is a game for 2 to 5 players, plays in 45 minutes, and again is another trick-taking game. We played this with our good friends Dave and Ilka after Essen, and we had some good fun with it. And that's Sears Catalogue, which I may cover on the channel at some point. Then we have a small wallet type micro game, and that's 6 Suspects. No idea what this one is. It does say there's English rules included. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, 2 to 8 players, 10 minutes. I do love a wallet game. Then we have Eye to Eye Duel. This really intrigued me. It's a very, very small card game, as you can see. It's for 2 players and has a playtime of 10 minutes. And we met the people at the stand there and they showed us the game. So I just had to buy this game, and had to, for some inexplicable reason, buy this like limited tin that I can carry the game around in. I'm just a sucker for shiny things, I guess. But this game looks intriguing, I must admit. That's Eye to Eye Duel. Next, we have a game that I think is pronounced Hatsuden. So we'll be constructing 5 types of renewable energy plants. Okay, this is a very, very small game, and this is a game from Essen Games. Yes, this is an Essen Games going to be well known for these type of games. You may have seen them before. Viking Seesaw is one of the brilliant ones, and Wonder Bowling. But this is from Essen Games, and it's for 2 players with a playtime of 30 minutes. And I'm quite looking forward to this because I've really enjoyed Essen Games. So there we go. And I've already shown you it, but here we have Tower of Doubt, again from Essen Games. And this is the Fun Brick series of games, which I'm not sure, these are probably out of shot, but they're up here. This one is for 2 players and will take around 20 minutes to play, and you seem to be building up stacks of towers. Very intrigued, can't wait to play it. Like I say, a big fan of Essen Games and love their Fun Brick series, which all come in these style boxes. Looking forward to this one. Next up, we have Wise Wizard Games, and this is Sherlock Solitaire. "Come, Watson, come," he cried, "the game is afoot." It's a card game for 1 to 2 players, run time of 20 minutes, Sherlock Solitaire. And next we have another game from Phased Shift Games. This is Obelisk. A 2-player game which will last around 15 minutes. What they say, a shift in strategies in a timeless realm. And this really intrigued me for the components. The look of it on the table with the strange obelisk dice and tokens. So I just, as soon as I seen it on the table, I just had to pick it up. And especially as it comes in such a small box as well. Very interested in getting this one to the table. That's Obelisk. Next, another game from Bezier Games, and that's Sandbag. Dumping sandbags from your balloons in order to achieve the greatest height. And this is another trick-taking game. Trick-taking games, very popular at the moment. This is for 3 to 6 players and will last around 30 minutes. Looks very nice. And next we have a delightful looking game, Koinobori. I'm guessing it's pronounced. Look at the artwork. That is really fantastic. I'm guessing it's some sort of set collection game for 2 to 5 players, runs for 20 to 40 minutes. I just love the artwork on this game. So again, had to pick this one up. Next we have a very unusual game here, Galabari. This is from Snowvid Games. It's for 2 to 6 players, runs for around 25 minutes and is for ages 18 plus because it's got rather an unusual little theme there, which is, yeah. Lisa was very drawn to this one. Very drawn indeed. And we had an absolutely marvellous time chatting to the people there. Oh my goodness. They even supplied us with some rather wonderful but rather strong shots as well. Oh, my goodness. They certainly made walking through Essen a little bit more trickier than it even was before we got to the stand. Really wonderful people to meet. The game it's an unusual game, a role-playing, trick-taking card game about summertime romantic adventures on the Adriatic coastline. It's an interesting theme, let me tell you now. Lisa is super thrilled to get it. I'm super thrilled to get it, and I can't wait to play it as well. Like I say, we met the most fantastic people there at Essen with this game. Superb. Next we have another small box game by Puro Loco Games, I believe, and this is Sunrise Sunset. Don't know anything again about this game other than it's for 2 players, 10 to 30 minutes, and has some absolutely delightful artwork. Very interesting. Looking forward to this one. Then we have another unusual little game, and this is proper Face the Wind of Woe from Interhuman. And this is a rather unusual game with a wooden box where you play with little wooden components and you actually play inside the actual game box. A very interesting looking trick-taking game between Granny and mischievous forces. There you go. Well, I think we are slowly coming to the end here. Next up, we have a game from Bright Eyed Games, and this is Tokuri Taken. And this looks like good fun because it's a card game all about a sake party. Dinosaurs apparently love sake. So this is where they theorise that's what may have caused their extinction after a huge party of drinking. This looks great fun. It's for 2 to 4 players and will last around 15 minutes. And another game, and this one I'm very, very much looking forward to playing, another game from Bright Eyed Games, and this is Sumo, a trick-taking game. And this is for 2 players, and it looks very quick indeed, a 5-minute game. So looking forward to this one, a 2-player trick-taking game based on sumo wrestling. Next we come to a solo game that I've always wanted to try, but the price has always put me off, but I couldn't resist any longer. It's from Chip Theory Games, so you know you're getting good quality components. It's a 1-player game and will last 30 to 40 minutes. Now this is the 20 strong core box, and inside this box you will find the game Solar Sentinels. So you get the core box with the rules and stuff you need, and then you actually pick up the actual games then that you want to play. So like I say, it comes with Solar Sentinels. Looks very, very intriguing. And I had to pick up the Too Many Bones version of the game as well. Too Many Bones is a game that I've had for a great many years and still have not played, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one. Like I say, a solo game that is 20 strong from Chip Theory Games. And now just 2 games left by the same designers. They're by the designers of the game White Castle, which you may have heard a lot of buzz about. A very, very, very good game indeed. Well, this first game is Keyframes. This is a game for 2 to 4 players and will run around 20 minutes. And it looks like you're trying to create the perfect frames for the best animation sequence. So that looks very interesting. And finally, a game we were super thrilled to get hold of. I do believe it did sell out, and that is Flat Iron, again by the designers of White Castle. Lisa was determined to get this game, and when we got there, the queues were so long, we just gave up and thought, no, we're just not going to be able to get it. But a little later on, the queues had dropped a little, and when we got there, they still had a copy of the game. So we were super, super, super delighted to get this. It's a game that we were quite surprised at for 1 to 2 players and lasts around 45 minutes, where you seem to be building the iconic Flatiron building in New York. So there you go. That is our Essen haul. Well, as you can no doubt tell, that's an awful lot of games. We love small box games, so picking up a lot of these small box games was an absolute delight. Of course, the only trouble is trying to get them home in a rucksack and suitcase. So we had to do the classic thing of removing everything out, punching everything out, getting rid of extra rule books that weren't needed, getting rid of excess cardboard, taking out some inlays as well, getting rid of them, packing one game inside another game, just to be able to try and get it home. But it was all well worth the effort. It was a cracking time at Essen. I'll have a video coming up all about our Essen experience very soon. But before that, we're off to Aircom West in Telford. Actually, I'm going tomorrow. We've only just got back from Essen, and a day or 2 later, bump, we're off to Aircon. And I can't wait to get there, to meet some of the wonderful friends and people we've met over the last couple of times we've been to all the various aircons. So there you go. That's it. That's our haul. It's an awful lot of games. When we'll get to play them, I don't know. Some of these will feature on a future video, I am quite certain. But if you've seen anything you'd like to know more about, please drop a note in the comments below and I will get back to you, or even create a video all about that particular game. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed taking a look at our Essen haul of 2024. If you did, I would be so grateful if you click the old like button and also hit that subscribe button. That would be super awesome of you to do, because that would really help to grow the channel. Well, in the meantime, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.